It's another day in paradise and another day for opportunity. What we have here is a tale from the wild, wild west. A testament to the days of old. Been living out here on the ranch for almost 3 years now, and it occurred to me that every ranch needs a dedicated ranch truck. Something so that when you mosey into town, they know who's arriving. I've been collecting parts, I've been stashing parts, I've been shopping for parts, and I've been thinking of all that stuff, and it all starts with this little jewel. It's a classic piece of Americana. You know, here at Envisioning Central, we like to start off with projects that have a lot of missing parts. It really keeps the mind free to explore the possibilities. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, it doesn't look much like a ranch truck. And the only reason for that is because a good 70% of the vehicle is missing. That's not a concern for me. I've thought it all through. I've thought part of it through, and here we are. What could possibly go wrong? You know, I'm not one to give stuff away. This Model T has been hanging around for a bit, but I knew it had a ton of potential. What am I gonna do? Put in the old-fashioned engine and putt along at 30 miles an hour? Oh no, this is where it gets real good. I'll be right back. This must be what it feels like to be a Formula One driver, except, you know, in a Pinto. I mean, 2.3 liters of fury. You can just mash the pedal to the floor on this thing and not worry about it. It's like a go-kart, it's fun. A fine machine. I tell you, they don't make them like they used to. What we have here is a perfectly good, perfectly hot-wired Ford Pinto. And I was thinking, Model T had a 4-cylinder. This is a 4-cylinder Ford. Why the heck not? Ford engine in a Ford project. I just like to keep it that way on certain occasions. So if I could update my Model T from the factory brochure, I would order 2.3 liter with an automatic transmission. It's a perfect donor. This might not look like the typical choice for a ranch truck, but it's right up my alley. You know, we're talking about Rancho Roussel, the home on the range. Welcome to Weirdsville. All I gotta do is take that, chuck it over into that, and see how it all lines up. The rest and the best is yet to come. Before I get too deep into any project, I always need to be sure that it passes the board of review. Check this out. You gotta see this. The latest project. I thought you were just a lowrider, man, but you're into the classics and the antiques as well. I know he looks like he likes it, but don't be fooled. You know, he has to soak in the entire concept before he comes to a conclusion. Tough critic. The toughest critic. Look at this response. I mean, it's clear that they're into the vintage Ford steel, but I don't think they're really that hip on my ideas. If you had ideas of your own, you'd be accomplishing them, but all I see is a lot of sitting around. You know, this guy is just strictly business. You know, if we work on changing his focus a little bit, he might loosen up. I can see the skepticism is back in the room. Maybe I could change your mind. You gotta check this thing out. Look at this machine. Hundreds of your favorite things. All the inspector's hard work is finally coming to fruition. You know, the fanfare is pouring in. He's getting deliveries. Something's going on behind the scenes that I'm not hip to. They go up. They go down. Yes, you pull the lever. Are you ready for the delivery? I think we have a fan, ladies and gentlemen. Aha! I can't explain how this treat machine came here. I get this pallet shipped in. It's from Southern Vending Restoration, and it's addressed to Dude and Lil Roussel. Ta-da! Sometimes you gotta grease the wheels, as they say, and you want something to go your way. It always helps to, you know, spread the wealth a little. In other news, I got the Pinto engine and transmission pulled out and ready for action in the T. I want it to look like an antique, you know? I don't want it to be a restoration. I want this power and ease of shifting with the Ford Pinto and automatic transmission. Sounds simple, you know, it's real easy to describe something, but this was never designed for anything with, say, 100 horsepower. So definitely have to upgrade the strength of the chassis, but the first thing is just the fitment of the engine. I know it's physically bigger than the original engine, and I gotta see how that's gonna work out. You know, in classic old school fashion, you're gonna wear what you got, right? If you only got one pair of shoes, you're getting them on somehow. In simplest terms, this is the classic shoehorn technique. You know, you hear it, wow, they must have shoehorned that engine into that car. Yes, literally. Heck yeah. See, now the motor mount is in that C channel. That's what I was going for. So I think the simplest solution is I made 4 of these tabs that fit inside this C of the chassis, so I can weld in there, and then the original motor mounts, the bolts go right through. I really want to keep the same formula for the transmission mount. I'm going to leave all the stock pieces in place and then attach it to the chassis. You can see is the original cross-member transmission mount from the Pinto. It's going to hang right on this surface. It'll get drilled through, and then this will sit right on top of that. And the little wrench comes in real handy with this. Put your little wrench on there, and yeah, give it a pull. Well, the coolest factor of these Model Ts is back in the day, there were no roads, so everything was off-road. It's a perfect runabout, you know, just for getting into town and back. So what I did here was I set this plate on top of the frame, so that's just sitting there like a cradle, and I set this side under the frame. So that way when I unbolt it, I can just drop it out and get rid of it. That is step 1 in the 500 steps of this simple project. We're making progress on the mechanical. I got some really cool ideas for this ranch buggy. I'm talking about the style. On to the good part. We're getting real close to transferring the power of this 4-cylinder engine into the chassis of this carriage. If you're gonna do something, do it right. Speedway has a catalog that's dedicated to Model T parts, mostly hot rod stuff, but hey, this is a hot rod, right? So I was able to get radiator, taillights, batteries, shocks, all the things. The nice thing is the Pinto axle is almost the same width as the Model T. So we lucked out. When I say we, I mean me. I got a couple ideas and a few parts, but no hard and fast plan. Let's roll the dice and see what it gets. So this is a piece of like 2x3 rectangular tube that I split in half. I notched it so that it fits on the axle tube like so. And then this fits the Model T spring perch like so. So what that makes is a so-so fit up for a so-so good idea. All right, so now the question is the drive shaft angle gonna be too steep? I hope not. I think that's gonna work. Well, that's the spring, and now the fun part. Next thing is the radius rods, and what that stops the axle from doing is twisting. So when you get on the gas, the wheels start to spin, it wants to wrap that axle under. And anyone that knows how I drive will contest. It's gotta be built triple strength. It came from the outer edge of the brake drum, like that, and then they went right to the transmission like that. The thing is, these are just not gonna be strong enough. I wanna double size them. I'm gonna use this heavier tube and just make me a set. This is an opportunity to not only strengthen the drivetrain, but to also possibly make the senior inspector proud. And get a nice weld all through here. Even though this is a structural piece, I still want it to look the part. You know, characteristic of the Model T is that long triangular shape that was attached to the rear axle, and I'm mimicking that, but also reinforcing it. So that location of the axle is set, the pivot points are set. It just needs one more element to just kind of triangulate. Looking at the original T radius rods, these might be just what the doctor ordered. Mechanically, this thing is coming together. You know, I'm starting to get visions of crossing the plains, delivering dog food, getting hay bales for the tortoise. You know, all the duties of the ranch being attended to in this fine machine. And now it's like, what does the thing look like, you know? All this mechanical stuff is just underneath. My mental Rolodex of, you know, parts scattered far and wide. I'm remembering a thing I saw at my friend Jeff's horse barn. I think it's just what I need. Hey, anybody home?
Hi, Ian.
Hey, Anna.
Good to see you.
How you doing, man?
Good.
Good deal. How's Lucky feeling? Everything's good on this end of the spectrum?
Oh, yeah, he's liking it.
Thinking about getting a horse. If I know the shop inspectors, there'd be mutiny if I showed up with a four-legged beast of this magnitude.
Well, I don't know what you're thinking with that card, but it's right over here. I'll let you see it.
Like a baby lying in the manger, I could see my future, and it's looking bright. Exactly what I was needing. Uh-oh, here comes the peanut gallery. Who are these guys? The inspector trio? I must have a sign on my back or something. I mean, everywhere I go, I got animals all up in my business. They eat firewood? Look at them.
They eat anything.
I guess so. Look at them go. You've heard of Dr. Dolittle. You've heard of Noah's Ark, right? I got to keep the reins on these animals because they want to be a part of the show too. Oh, maybe they'll just take the hay out of here for me. I don't even have to lift it.
Yeah, it came with the ranch. I was just using it to hold the hay and the feed. I thought it was a wagon cart or something. If you want it, sure. I'll just stack it on the pallets.
Cool deal. Hey, I hate to break it to all of you, but I'm taking the food bowl, all right? Like everything I'm looking at, you know, I see it one way and it's usually not reality. This box has potential on that Model T, slightly modified. Look at this guy hopping in. He's ready for a ride. Exactly, so you're just, whoa, hey, easy. Let's not get too personal. Another successful field trip, you know, another group of friends looking at me like, what the heck are you thinking about? But I'm sure the animals understand. You could tell. They're all about this box. I got my friend Alan in the shop and I filled him in on the development of my speed buggy. Notice anything different?
I see a lot different.
The thing with this is, you know, I need a ranch truck, right? You see what I'm driving. I want something with character. You know, when I show up at Carl's Hardware, everybody knows who's coming to town.
Yeah, this is rad.
You know, Alan is well-versed in custom work and creativity. He works on the fly a lot like me, and I'm sure that he is not concerned with a venture into the unknown. Check out the Harley exhaust.
I love it. I love it.
I was going to use the Model T exhaust, and then I remembered I had these chopper fishtails.
Yeah.
So I just put it into a single. I used both tubes and put them together. You're a really talented fabricator, right? You got the paint skills, you got the bodywork skills. How's your carpentry?
I think I know what a square is.
Okay. Let's throw this on. I'll show you what I'm thinking. As usual, I like to loosely assemble all the pieces and then see how it fits together. You know, I wanted like a truck, but not like a pickup truck, like a van body with a roof that comes over, like a sea cab, but a wooden body.
A cab.
Let the envisioning begin.
So I think I see what you're saying.
Like a stagecoach, like a paddy wagon, but kind of a hot rod. You know, like something I would say like Mother's Pies on the side or something, like a delivery truck.
I really don't see it yet.
I know it's pretty vague, but it's like a van, right? But it's like a sea cab, but it's like a delivery vehicle, but it's old-fashioned, but it's new.
I hear you, I see, but I don't see it in my head.
Fortunately,
But I love what I see. I love what I see.
I came up with an idea, the envisioning process, right? Forget about whatever fabrication it takes. Let's just talk concept for a moment.
Yes.
You know, I'm not one to tout my own merits, but this may be my greatest achievement of all time. The envisioning board, the full-size sketch pad, Da Vinci, Einstein, the greats. I'm standing on their shoulders and I feel that I've arrived. See how I jacked it up in the back with that rake? So that's kind of what I was thinking, like it would have that stance, you know, so it's not fully Model T. You know, a lot of times you'll see where it's like, you know, kind of like a that shape, right?
Right.
It kind of takes away from that nose down look.
It kind of does. It's almost like they kept the buggy look where the man stood there holding the reins.
Right, exactly. First step is to figure out the seat height. You don't want to be looking up over the windshield. Fortunately, Alan's about the same size as me, so he's the guinea pig. All right, it's all you.
Oh, let me see.
Oh, that's it, man. You're in the car. It's perfect. That's the height.
That's the height.
Yeah.
It feels comfortable.
You could theorize all day long about the look and proportion, or we can use Ian's envisioning board. That's a take. Take that drill, and right where your shoulder blade is, drill a hole right through. Perfect. Right where your knee is, you're bent. Now right where your ear is. Right where your nose is. Right where you'd like to be holding the steering wheel. Directly across from your belt buckle.
Belt buckle.
One for your pancreas.
Where's my pancreas? Is it right here? There you go.
Now, we have a clear and decisive layout.
Nice.
Perfect start.
So, it was the ear, right?
I don't know. Ian Mark? Yeah. Hey, all I said was I had a good idea and didn't say I had it all figured out. So if this is your ear and you would just be inside it.
So you can barely see you as you're driving.
Yeah, just want to kind of be in it.
Seeing this opening, I just get this like 70s feel. I don't know why. I get the 70s feel. It's, you know, now I'm starting to feel it now.
Look how tall it is.
It is tall.
That's a
It
freaking
is
tall
tall.
truck.
I'm digging it. I'm digging it.
You know, this is the process of refinement. You start with an idea and you just keep honing it. So this is round. Trace that thing. Seeing like a real life size representation, you know, really helps the process along. How's that look?
Yeah, it's perfect. It really is. You see a little bit of your knee, see your leg a little bit.
Feels comfortable. It's like you're here and then you see somebody you don't want to see. Well, that settles it. Next step is to take the template and transfer it to the wood, you know, full size, full strength, and it's really gonna flesh this thing out. My favorite part of the project is like the first 10 minutes of it, right? Where you just bring that idea to reality. I think that's our line, man. I'm digging it.
I like the round. The round says hot rod to me.
Yeah, once we were talking about C-cab, I'm like, oh yeah, just like wide open. You know, if it was a delivery vehicle, no doors or anything, you just hop in and hop out. Prepare to enter the C-cab. Yep, looks difficult to get in. That makes it a show car. Oh yeah.
Beep, beep.
It doesn't matter if I fit in it. I don't even concern myself with that stuff. I got something here from Speedway that's gonna seal the deal. It's exactly what every Model T needs. Aha. Perfect.
I love it, yes.
We got the look, we got the sound. We are on our way. Now that we have the template, we'll transfer it to our final skin and complete the structure. Because this is a transition, this is gonna be like a subframe inside the roof. And then the actual body will go around this. It's time for the school glue. A big concern for me was how are we gonna put this thing together, right? So typically, you know, you put a nail in the wood or a screw and you see the head, and I'm like, no, this is more like furniture, like cabinet work. So I concocted this idea of a subframe or substructure inside, and then the fasteners were reversed. That looks like a C-cab roof, don't it? We gotta get in the business of furniture making, man. We could build a couch. Definitely in the cartoon realm, this is where I thrive. Oh yes. The absurdity is just beginning. I love it.
The roof line looks really good.
I got 2 words for this. Groovy. Let's put this insert in and see what happens then. Oh yeah, look, it fits the windshield perfect too. There's nothing like 3-dimensional representation, life size. This thing is way cooler than I thought when we hung up those boards on the rafters. It's big.
Looks like a Hot Wheels almost.
Oh yeah, totally cool. You know, I gotta say, the envisioning process and assembly of this went way smoother than expected. It's exactly what I was thinking. A little bit of nonsense and a lot of fashion. The C-cab's really coming along. Alan and I just followed through that same process, front to back. We laid it out, squared it up, screwed and glued the entire assembly together, then skinned the roof with masonite. So all that hard work led up to this. As flat as those panels are, by getting that masonite on the roof and putting all the cross braces in there, it's a pretty organic, really strong shape.
You know, this is the first time I've ever had a chance to work with wood. It's a different experience.
I'm really happy with this back corner. That's about maxed out for the radius you can put on this masonite, but we got it, man. Seeing the roof cap on and the way the rear end kind of curves down like that, it just solidifies it. You know, it's like, oh, this thing it's like an antique vehicle.
In the beginning, I was questioning, I really was. I kind of heard the vision, but after this, you know, the mock-up leading up to this, it looks great.
I'd like to say that I'm as surprised as you are. Wooden cars, Alan. Wooden cars are the future. This thing is really taking shape, but we're not out of the woods yet. It needs a couple more elements to really sell the concept. You're gonna expand your skill set a little bit more. You ever done upholstery?
Never, but let's do it.
Trying to keep like a really vintage flavor, you know? So an upholstered top, just like you see on a Model A or something. I think it's gonna really give us a hint at what the car wants to be. Let's throw this on the ground. You know I love to use what I got lying around, but sometimes there's no replacement for the new stuff. Oh yeah, check this stuff out. This is the real fabric that you would use on a Model T or Model A. Cobra grain, isn't that interesting?
Wow, this is a very nice material, and it really gives it that old school.
Yeah. It's almost like a hearse roof, right?
Yes.
It's gonna really affect the look of the car. So before we decide on paint or anything, you know, we gotta work with this.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna tell us.
I think we're gonna start in the center. We're gonna start at the low spot. We'll do the front half and then we'll do the back. There's only one rule with this whole thing, that is you get one chance. No air bubbles, no wrinkles, otherwise it's curtains. Honest Ian's upholstery has never been the top-notch quality, but practice makes perfect, as they say. Let's see what we can do. I love it when a plan comes together. He's got the motion. See, it's the oldest trick in the book. You always have the new guy do the hardest part. That way you have someone to blame if it doesn't work. Upholstery is super satisfying because you get a transformation like almost immediately. You know, with a paint job, it's all that fuss. Upholstery, you put it on, it's finished. This is the edging. That's why we were able to just roll over and staple really rough, see? So the idea is we open it up, we staple in there, and then it just shuts.
That's genius.
I didn't make it up, I just bought the stuff. Oh man, I'm stoked. I had no idea how simple and effective this would be. 2 cans of glue and 150,000 staples. The only thing left, fabrication-wise, is our door openings. I always end up with that cartoon monster in a little car kind of thing, and wasn't really what I was going for, but here we are. Definitely got an issue with the size of that door. When you're walking in, 1 foot first, right? So that's what I mean, so you can't even get a foot in there. So it has to be at least that big. And you got the bigger feet of the two of us, so let's measure your hoof. My goal is to cut the door opening, you know, at a minimum. It's all about the look at this point. The angle of the cowl looks really neat, and right now it's not driving with the cut we have. So yeah, just like make it a little more vertical. Yeah, like that, perfect. That's the whole exercise here. You know, I'm looking at this thing and I'm picturing like a black and white photo with this car back in the Wild West days, right? And it's just like, man, what's it gonna take to really just put it there? It's getting close. So now, you can just step right in.
Like a glove.
Feels like my truck already. It's like the horseless carriage has come to life.
Saddle up.
I got straight to work on a bunch of underneath stuff. I got the brakes in, got the floor in the body, got the seat established, and the big concern for me was the steering. When I got this car, it was the typical basket case, you know, milk crates full of stuff. One big keeper for me was this original 23 Ford steering wheel and column. And that was the thing, whatever it takes to make this thing operate and look the part. The construction of this thing is pretty much there. It's just now, what does it look like? From here up, I love it. From here down, I have concerns. I don't really like this tone. I don't want to drive this truck. And then I don't like this either. So, you know, Model Ts were black, and I'm thinking, well, I want a wooden body, and I don't want to really paint it. I got a little leftover auto paint, and I want to experiment. Experimentation is the spice of life, you know? Sometimes just taking a whisk, you get the reward. You could primer this thing and bodywork it, do the whole deal, but I want it to look like a wooden body. It could just look like fiberglass, you know, when you're done. But I was thinking if I take a rag, kind of like staining, I could do a test piece, or I could just put it on the truck. I think I'm gonna go for the latter. Yeah, I like to go all in. No test piece, just go for it. Adapt, carry through. This is my process, you know, because either way, you did something. It's better than sitting there and doing nothing. I feel a little like Bob Ross, the master, right? And all this happy little wood grain, we're trying to enhance it. The vapors coming out of this auto paint bucket are really working for me. A totally different mood. You know, I think I'm gonna try this on the side too. Part of the process is accepting the fact that every shot might not be a straight line to the finish. The things you can't plan for are usually, you know, in my opinion, the coolest thing ever. Well, I've achieved something. Black really did knock the yellow down. We still got 2 tones of finish. I like that. I think it still needs some development. I want to get this thing off the jack stands and on the ground. Now that I hit this positive note, I want to fix something that's just been on my mind. It's been bugging me since we started this thing. I've had these for years, and now I finally have a purpose for them. Wheels and tires are one of the big statements of the vehicle, right? It's like, well, what is it? Is it a cruiser? Is it a race car? Is it a monster truck? What is it? What is this thing? I'm asking you, what is this thing? These are 32 Ford rims and these cool Excelsior racing tires. The look of these rims is classic. I mean, imagine if I did this whole C-Cab project and left those dirt track tires on it all the way around. 4 good used tires. I think it's the perfect option. The big problem is the 32 Ford bolt pattern doesn't match the Model T and it doesn't match the Ford Pinto, but I got a plan. We got 3 different bolt patterns going on here. The Model T rims in the front, the Pinto rims in the back, and these 32 Ford rims, they're all different. I had my friends over at Send Cut Send. They're really cool. You send them a drawing of what you want, they cut it, and then they send it back. So it's perfect, laser cut, steel plate. They also set up the bolt patterns for me. This is the 32 Ford rim bolt pattern, and this is the Pinto bolt pattern. All I gotta do is start drilling. You gotta be careful with wheel adapters. You know, not all bolt patterns are meant to be paired together. So the 4-lug to 5-lug conversion gets a little tricky. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Is it gonna fit? This is one thing I was worried about. I'm glad it's not directly rubbing, but it's close. Exactly what I was looking for. Simple, clean, old-fashioned. What was on there was pretty weird. What's on there now is just right. The next challenge is the front. That Pinto engine is significantly bigger than what was there. So we got a couple problems, as usual. Sometimes when I'm deep in a project, I just wake up in the middle of the night, shocked and sweating. I had trouble sleeping last night. The typical thing, the big question mark, what to do about this paint job. I came out here first thing in my nightcap and socks. And I sprayed that side black, and I gotta say I'm happy with it. The whole process is evolving. You know, that box I got from Jeff, it looked good on its own, but as soon as I put it on this black car, it just became increasingly yellow looking. With all of this antique paint and our new stuff, I think it was just way overblown, too bright for the rig. As far as the look of this thing goes, the only thing left is this nose. I had the original radiator for this, and I just felt like with this Pinto engine, you know, the original Model T radiator wasn't gonna work. So fortunately, Speedway had everything I needed for this. I got a new alternator for it, I got a new starter for it, and then this really slimline fan. And I mean, this thing is right to the limit. It's just about at the front cross member. Look at that clearance. This radiator is just like the original, but way more efficient. Set up to cool a V8 engine, this Pinto is no challenge. I mean, it fits, but I am right up against the fan. I mean, like nobody's business. So it looks good, but it's just too big. Well, I got a couple ideas, and one of them starts with the faithful 4.5-inch angle grinder. Am I compromising the airflow from this fan? Absolutely. Is it gonna overheat? That's hot rodding. So it looks like it's gonna work, and you know, the only thing that's gonna tell is testing it. But man, if I rev this thing and it starts nipping on the radiator, that could be the end of it. Ooh, ah. Even in 1923, the engineering and the thought, it was preparing this car for the rough roads ahead. And I'll tell you, this hardware is pretty interesting. It's like a suspension for the radiator. I just think it's so cool because it's like the simplest form of suspension. The way it's laid out with the springs, it's gonna stay where you put it, and it's gonna hop around a little without destroying itself. So if this thing does go bouncing around on desert, you got a little shimmy to the shake. So this looks good for sure, it'll cool it. But I'm looking for something a little bit more like the Model T, you know? That aluminum is way too bright. I know just what to do. All of a sudden, period correct. Look at that. That looks old-fashioned, wouldn't you say? The big stickler in selling the antique look is keeping this hood in place. Nobody sees what's going on in the engine, you know, the sleeper factor. This is where our problem begins. And that. So if we were to scrub a line straight through, you got an alternator bracket, got an intake manifold, we got a dipstick. So it looks to me like we're gonna have to cut that hood pretty good. That's not very stealthy in my opinion. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Desperate times call for desperate measures. There's no way this thing is going without a hood. See, I got that dipstick tucked out of the way, no problemo. If you're an auto purist and somehow made it this far in the show, I suggest you cover your eyes. It's about to get real. You know what that means? I'm gonna have to cut into this original hood, and I ain't scared. Okay, maybe I'm not that nervous, but I do feel a slight tug on the nostalgia heartstrings. Scratch the paintwork. Aha! What's going on in that Model T? It's just a matter of chipping away at all these culprits. You know, some stuff can stay, some stuff can be modified, but this alternator is a major factor. Who'd have thunk? Actually makes them a little more aggressive. That's gonna work. I don't know what I'm gonna do in the end for these two things, but I wanna put these headlights on to see how they look. It looks like all the mechanical stuff is gonna clear. We'll see what this develops into. The headlights are gonna tell me. I think this is gonna seal the deal on the front end. These two prime specimens. These are the real deal Model T lamps. They look like they belong there. It's actually a Model T. Nobody knows that there's a Pinto in there. I love it. The final element, the crown jewel. Thing that says you're meant to ride like the wind. Everything's lining up. I'm putting the final trim parts on this, and it just needs a little bit something. I've been struggling with this. You know what they say, it ain't over till it's over. and it ain't over yet. It's getting close to drive time. It's gonna be a wild ride. Moving right along on this buggy, you know, we're getting all the little things in place. We got rid of all that yellow wood tone. Everything's painted black. Getting the wiring progressed. It's almost ready to go down the road. There's just one final thing. We've been busy. This Pinto engine's a little bit more modern than the Model T, so I added a fuse block. And one cool thing I'm doing is I'm routing it all into the stock dash. So it's pretty groovy. The original key will actually start it. It's pretty neat, these old-fashioned switches. I was able to open it up, find out what terminal matched to what, and I just wired it in place of the other stuff. But it's not all daisies in custom buggy land. But sitting back here looking at it, it's like, man, what else could I possibly do? I think the sides are just a little too bland. It's just a real big panel. You know, there's a lot of action with the hardware on the windshield, with the lights, you know, the way that the running boards, it's all very dimensional. And then you have this long, flat side. It's like it needs something. Everything's fair game when I'm working on a new project. That's kind of sacrilege. This would drive people nuts. I just might do that. This one might actually fly. I mean, it's only natural, you know, when the shop is full of signage and you're looking for some kind of element on the side of this thing, it's like, hey, what about a sign? That'd be pretty groovy. Thing is, this is a pretty classy rig, right? So to comic it up, you know, to put something funny on it just might not fit. I'm thinking conservative. We can mark this day in history. That's right, I said it needs something conservative. I started thinking oval, like an oval window. It's like, well, it's a Ford, and you know, Ford is a blue oval, right? I mean, I got this sign, and it's definitely more appropriate than the Chevy rectangle, right? I'm not really feeling the blue, but still the old envisioning device. That works. I like that. It needs to be antique, you know, and that's the right script. It's old school, Ford, you know? It's like headlights had it. It was on the grill shell. I just think hanging a sign on the side is gonna be a little bit like not what I'm looking for. I got an idea that just might enhance it a little bit. Check this out. The Ford oval, right? It's not complicated. It fits the bill. It's the iconic emblem. Why wouldn't it be there? It's gonna take a little something to fit it up, but I think it's a good progress point. You know, I was thinking from the start, like an oval window, and I was like, why would it need a window? But you could see that would play, for sure. Just like making a custom bumper or a chop top, you know, the modification should look like it belongs, like it was always there. That was a little dustier than expected. But I think that this edge is gonna be really set off if I make it black, like that. I think we can kill two birds with one stone here. I definitely need a piece that's gonna support the signage, but I think we could also enhance the look of the interior with the same panel. Kind of a double whammy. Yeah, see, nice and clean. It just gives that interior like some kind of like reason. I really want this to look like a picture frame, you know? It's really amplify the fact that it's inset, so by painting the edge, it's gonna draw your eye inward towards the sign. I like it, but the blue's still bugging me. If you don't like it, spray it black. That's my motto for this vintage vehicle. Getting rid of the blue really helps. What if I took that part back? It's like I kind of like having it look like brush strokes like that. Kind of looks almost hand-painted if I just do it like that. It's super antiqued. Finger painting, it's not just for kindergarten. I couldn't have hoped for better on that sign. You could see it's that oval shape, it's recessed, and it looks antique. It looks good. The whole thing here is, you know, this is the artist's canvas, right? There's bound to be a little overspray. We'll work through all that in the end. I made that template to duplicate it on the other side. I'm gonna do the same process. A few more minor details and this chuck wagon is ready to chuck, or something like that. We got this Model T project finished up and in gear. My favorite thing about it is just that old time feel. I dubbed the Mr. T. I pity the fool that doesn't like this car. I mean, this thing is a pretty unique mashup. It feels like an antique car, exactly what I was looking for. Thing was, I started just with the idea, right? 27 ranch truck. Once Alan and I started collaborating, you know, we got the plywood out, we got some 2x4s out, and really we developed the look of this C-cab body. And I gotta say, it's beyond my expectation. It's got the old Model T steering column, Model T switches, a little old, a little new. It's definitely got the flavor. A huge part of this was the visual statement it's gonna make. And my friend Gilbert, the pinstripe master, he came by and did his number to the sides of this thing, and it's perfect. I didn't want to get into this restoration. I just wanted it to be functional, and everything I added to it, I want to make it count. It's got the big giant eyeball headlights in the front. It looks like a classic vehicle, but it's got a little trick underneath. I got it wired up, I got it fired up. Now it's time for the true test. This thing is engineered to cross the Great Desert and go all the way to the market. Taking it for the shakedown run, no surprises, fortunately. Reliability of this engine transplant, smooth, hard acceleration, not all the gadgets you gotta do with the Model T. Pinto power. The thing drives awesome. I was super surprised because that Pinto was pretty busted. Wait till we hit second. Whoa. The driving experience of something like this on a dirt road is just mind-numbing. It's teeth chattering. Old school. You take a corner, you're going across the seat. It barely stops because there's only rear brakes. It's got way too much power for the whole thing. It's over the ruts, it goes in the berms, over freaking mud piles. It's a heck of a ride. No stoplights, no seat belts, nothing between you and your destiny but this plate glass window. My first statement was, I want a ranch truck, right? Of course, do I do anything that's absolutely functional? Heck no. And I was allowed to do exactly what I want, and that was wing it. I had all these components, I had an idea how they could be retrofitted together, and I just went for it. Sort of an experiment with a strong reward, and man, Model T, it's definitely a cool rig.